Thank you guys so much for joining me on the live virtual opening of my show Dreamscapes. I was honored to be, I think, one of the first people to do a virtual opening last year, and I can't believe it's already been almost a year since that last show, and I'm really honored to have you guys joining us tonight live again. Again, just as Lisa said, please feel free to ask questions in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer all of your questions.
Yeah. We're looking at the first piece today in the show, number 1. It's called Secret Swim, Dusk. It's oil on canvas and measures 20 by 10 inches. Shannon, oil on canvas, I know that you make a lot of your own oil paints.
Yeah, I paint exclusively in oil paint, and I do make my own paint. And you'll see later on in the show, I do sometimes mix copper and gold dust as well in the paint. So that's one of those unique aspects to my work, and it's something that I've been doing since I went to university and I finished my fine arts thesis in Florence, Italy.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to move on then. Yeah. All right. So number 2 that you're seeing now on your screen is titled Port in a Storm. It measures 12 by 4 inches. So as you mentioned, all of your work is oil. I think this is also on canvas.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one is actually very indicative of my view when I'm flying into Piarco. And this is the part of the city in a storm, really. And I'm flying towards the airport, which is just through the clouds there. It's a very typical view for pilots that fly, fly in the Caribbean, and I love the looseness of this piece, which is quite different to the rest of the show.
Yeah, it has a very soft impressionistic style. I like that about it. Yeah. And as always with your work, I like the pilot's eye view. So it's always an interesting angle. So number 3, the next piece that we have, number 3, is called Sunset Flash. It's 12 by 6 inches. For those of you who have interest in getting prices, I think we have something posted on the Facebook page. And if you have further questions, you can always private message the gallery if you need details or wish to book a piece, which you can do by private message.
Okay. This piece is another cloud surfing painting that I did, and it's sort of an impressionist view of the very bright light that sometimes we fly into.
Right, yes.
Depending on the direction that we're going.
The view from the windscreen, kind of, yes. Yeah. Lovely. Okay. Well, number 4, and I think you've noticed you might be seeing some red dots on the wall. It's a beautiful piece, but someone's already spoken for it. It's Manzanilla Drive. It measures 10 by 10 inches. And I told you this one's very nostalgic for me. I think this is such a typical Trinidad view.
Yeah, this is an iconic piece for sure. View of the drive to Miaro, Manzanilla, and I think we all know this view immediately. And I think that's probably why it was one of the first ones that sold. Yeah,
very recognizable.
Yeah,
yeah, that's beautiful.
And a lot of people actually said that this is a very different painting for me, and in a lot of ways it is, but it still has that very stylized, linear line painting that I've done in it, and I think that, that's my...
Yes. It's still very unique. It's a little different, it's still very you. You can see the style that is still there. Okay. Now, both the Manzanilla piece and this piece, number 5, Carny Escape, are pieces that we are offering as NFTs, which we haven't mentioned yet for the broadcast.
Yeah.
This is the first time you're offering NFTs of your work, which is something fairly new, I think, for exhibitions here in Trinidad. So we're kind of excited about that opportunity.
I'm quite proud to be the first artist offering my physical work as an NFT as well. And of course, this is the first time a gallery in Trinidad is able to offer NFTs of physical paintings. The NFTs are also original, so they're one of one. So
yes,
you might
notice made at all.
Yes, you might notice some QR codes along the way, and that is how people, if you come in person to the gallery, you can view that. If not, there's a link that we'll share online.
Yes. So you can see more about that exciting opportunity.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, this number 5 that we're next to here is entitled Carny Escape. It measures 24 by 48 inches. And I like how loose your style is here, but you just feel like you're drawn right in. I feel like I'm on the boat in the middle of the river going down between the two banks, because going into the...
Yeah, I love the looseness and, of this piece because it lends itself so well to the movement of light and the movement through the carny and through the painting.
Yes.
And I love this very unusual chartreuse color that I've used in this piece, and the pattern that I've painted in it. And we were discussing earlier, many years ago, I would use our aviation maps as the backdrops to a lot of my paintings. And more recently, what I've been doing, instead of using those lines as backgrounds, I've been painting them in. So there's no map work in this show, which I know people do look forward to. But
I don't think you'll miss it if you come and see the work.
No.
It really is a full experience by itself, because you've got the background, you've got the textural and the
I've moved forward to using a lot more line work and drawing with the paintbrush, with very small, very fine brushes instead.
Yeah, lovely. Okay.
I love this, and just as a side note, all of the NFTs, and this one in particular is my favorite. They are all, I've animated all of them myself.
Okay, so number 6. It's titled No Man's Land, also oil on canvas. It measures 10 by 8 inches.
It's another iconic piece of Trinidad, piece of Tobago actually, for those of you that know the landscape and
the Trinbagonian experience.
Yes, this one is quite different to a lot of the other paintings in the show, is in the sense that it's very heavily impastoed, but also it's a sketch, really, So it's very loose.
But we're moving on to numbers, and this little grouping is so cute. Number 7 is titled Escape to Tobago 2. It's 5 by 5. I love the little line of, if you can see it, when we close up, the little line of boys, it just feels so Tobago.
Yeah. I often will put little hits of very vibrant color, and usually the color is vibrant because it's the exact opposite of the color that I put down. In most of my work, you'll get that one little hit, one little dot of an opposite color, and I really love playing with color in that way. And anyway, so the little line of boys is a nice, you don't see it from far away, but as you get closer, it's a little surprise in the painting, and similar to the other one.
And again, that linear style that you were talking about.
Yes, the very linear. So instead of the map in the background, there are these lines that I've painted in and patterns that I've painted in.
And underneath number 7, we have number 8, which has some of that, the handmade paint with the gold dust. That is Golden Sunset, oil on canvas with gold dust. It measures 5 by 5 inches. That is so cute, and I like the stylized.
It's a very dreamy piece, and you can see quite a lot of the underpainting behind the clouds, and I like that it looks, it's obviously a painting, but it looks like a drawing the way that I've used, again, a very, very fine paintbrush, similar to the ones that my very close friend Peter Shepherd actually uses. Peter, if you're watching, it's the first time that I've used such a teeny tiny little 2-head brush to paint these very, very, very fine details in
You've
the
had
paintings.
some fun with it, as you'll see as you see the rest of the pieces as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to number 9. Number 9 is titled Pink Sand. It's oil on canvas with gold dust, measures 5 by 5.
Yeah.
And the little details in it are so fine, but it still makes this glow, like the pink sand is just barely visible through the waves and so on.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think we're all dreaming about going back
Yes,
to Tobago to take a swim.
beach.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so number 10 is titled Everything and Nothing. I love the title. It's very zen.
Yeah. It's
little meditative sunset.
It's a very, very cool painting because it's in the evening, the sun is setting, but the sun is very, very hot. You know, very the tone that I've used feels very hot. So I like that duality in this piece. It's a very subtle painting.
And you've still got the little dancing lights on the water. I think the little details that you can see when you're up close and so on. It's still a beautiful piece.
Yes.
So that's number 11, Golden Hour Green Flash. It's oil on canvas, measures 10 inches by 10 inches.
I loved playing with the color in this one because it's a departure for me in terms of color.
Okay.
And I love the very cool greens and yellows that create a lot of movement in that water there.
I like the subtlety of it, but then there's a little touch of drama with the light on the water. Kind of gives it that little, as you say, the kind of the flash.
Yeah.
So move on to number 12, which is titled Ode to Impression Sunrise. That's, again, oil on canvas.
Yeah.
I keep saying it just in case anybody missed it before. And
Ode to Impression Sunrise. Impression Sunrise is a painting by Monet. And as a young artist, I was very influenced by his work. I actually visited Giverny where he had his water gardens. And even though it is very different from the painting that inspired it, the sun, of course, is the main iconic thing that you'll recognize in that painting and in this one as well. So.
And I like the kind of, it still has that local feel to it. You recognize that it's the islands, you know where you are, but at the same time you have captured that kind of impressionistic mood, the kind of hazy air and so on. That's kind of...
It's very minimalist for an impressionist type piece. But I like that you say that it's still very Caribbean because the original piece, if you don't know it, is actually quite industrial. Yeah. It's a waterscape, but it's industrial.
Yeah, but I like how you've connected the two successfully, I think. So beautiful. Okay, so number 13, moving on, is Event Horizon. It measures 12 by 6 inches. I got that? Yes, Event Horizon.
Another cloud surfing painting. Again, reminiscent of those red-eye flights that we do where we fly all through the night and, you know, the really spectacular sunrises always start like this. It's just what they start when we're sort of chasing the horizon.
I like the
cloud
drama.
surfing. I love the drama in it, as you said.
It's very dramatic.
Yeah.
And you feel like it's just about to happen.
Yeah.
So we're looking now at number 14. And number 14 is Battery Fort George View. It's 4 inches by 4 inches. And you were saying that one has some inspiration.
Yeah, this is actually a view from well-known local artist and dear friend of mine, Peter Shepard's balcony. So, I love every day he posts a new picture, and they're always so beautiful and so different, which is actually quite similar to when I'm flying. Every sunset and sunrise is so different and equally spectacular.
Well, this is kind of unique in terms of its coloration, in terms of all the pieces in the show. I find this one...
it is actually very, very different. Yeah. With the purples and the peach with the green in the water. Yeah, very subtle but very different. And if you really, really look, you can see some towers and boats. And
But you've got a
cute little piece.
I think you've got quite a few artistic homages in this show because
I do.
Number 15 is Breeze Wall, oil on canvas, 5 inches by 3 inches, and you were saying that this is also something that you tip your hat to another artist.
Yes, I loved the linear, like the lines in this painting, while also keeping it very, very loose. So you can tell this is another sketch of mine with the brushwork and the lack of detail if you really, really look at it. And I've signed it as on the top, as a kind of like graffiti on the top of the wall, like, you know, when you scratch your name into paint. And it's so reminiscent of, I would be remiss to not mention Christopher Cozier's work and his exhibition a handful of years ago of Breeze Walls. I do love his work and I do follow his work. And my work, just like many artists' work, are quite reminiscent of the artists that we do follow and look at or are friends with. So,
yeah. All right. So I think we're moving on to number 16. Which is Full Moon Down the Islands. It's 12 inches by 12 inches, also oil on canvas.
Another view that we see a lot, especially in the last year and a bit, everybody going down the islands to their island homes and not swimming, so nobody's in the water, and but all the lights are on. People are still home enjoying.
I like the dramatic cloud formation. I think it's.
I do as well, and the water and the lights on the horizon. As you can tell, it's something that I've been enjoying. Doing as you go through the show, you'll see a lot more of it.
And now this little grouping, all three of them they have the same theme.
Yeah. So this collection of works is Independence Day fireworks in the savannah, and it was inspired by a collection of photographs that a friend of mine, Gerald Hart, actually took. He's a photographer. A lot of people know him as a band leader, but he's also a photographer, and. Again, it's a series that he took years ago, and a lot of the photography, or my favorite photographs, were of the smoke after the fireworks went off. And so you'll notice that even though you're probably wondering, well, it's fireworks, but there are not a lot of fireworks, and in two of them in particular, there are no fireworks, it's just the smoke. But what I really enjoyed was the color in the smoke. Which of course that they're not grey, they're bright pink and orange and green and purple.
So just to give you but just to give you the titles of the pieces along with this, number 17 is Independence Day Fireworks Savannah, 1, 2, and 3. So number 17, 18, and 19, in case anyone's longing to write in and book them. So it's Independence Day Fireworks Savannah. Number 17 is 12 by 6 inches. Number 18 is Independence Day Fireworks Savannah 3. It's 7 by 7 inches. And number 19 is Independence Day Fireworks Savannah 2, and it measures 4 by 4 inches. And this piece has an NFT to go with it. That is also for purchase as well as
We have a question. Somebody says, Shannon, can you tell us a bit about how exciting it was to learn to mix your own paints, and if you mixed your own pigments for each of these paintings?
Okay, so I'll just repeat the question for you. We have a question from the background there where someone would like to know whether Shannon mixes, how exciting was it to learn to mix all of your own paints, and do you mix your own paints for all of the pieces in the show?
I don't mix my own paints for all of the paintings anymore. I used to, because I actually used to do a lot more layering than I do now. And I don't know if, I learned how to do this many years ago when I lived in Italy, and I was studying, how the old masters used to make their paints. And I don't know if it was as exciting as it maybe was frustrating, because as you learn anything new, and a new skill, it doesn't start off as exciting.
Okay.
It's easy now. But
it's become second nature.
It's fun now because it makes my paintings that much more vibrant and beautiful, and that's what I love about it. But exciting initially, not really.
And I have a question from Canada.
Yes.
Shannon, is there anything terms of style, types of paint that you're looking forward to in your next collection.
Okay, so shall I repeat the question?
Yeah,
Okay.
just so that
So it's
everyone can hear it.
could you please repeat that so I'm mixing it right? But Shannon, is there anything else that you'd like to try in terms of style or that you have not tried yet in terms of style or types of paint that you'd like to do in future exhibitions?
So I've tried many different many mediums, many different paints and many different mediums. I've used watercolor and acrylics. I've done impasto type work, which I still actually have in the show, and I've done silver drawings with silver. I've done many very unusual worked with many different mediums, but my love for oil painting, and I think the sort of traditional painter in me loves using oil. So I don't think it's something that I'll stray from. And many people don't know this, but I actually started showing my work when I was 14, but my work was figurative at the time. So I did a lot of nudes, actually, a lot of figure painting. And it wasn't until I did a master arts class with contemporary artist Peter Doig, who's world renowned. And I'm embarrassed to say I didn't know at the time, funny enough.
Yeah.
But he encouraged me to mix my flying and my painting, which is why I am a true landscape artist now. And I love my work that much more because I'm painting from a place that I love.
From your passions.
Yeah.
You blended your two of your passions together.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So you'll always, for those of you that have been following me for many years, you'll always find little paintings, one-offs, and there's one to come that's very different. The breeze wall might be one, the fireworks series is one, but generally speaking, I think I will always be a landscape artist.
Yeah. Well, I think we have another question, but I'm going to think that maybe what we will do is just look at a couple more pictures, and then we will open back up the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to number 20, Dusk Waterscape, oil on canvas, 48 by 36 inches. And I've told you, I love that you've let the underpainting for this show through. I think it gives it a very exciting feel, nice and loose, but very nice breezy day.
I think that this piece really shows my maturity as an artist in the sense that I'm confident showing my work in this way. It's not overworked. It's very raw and very, it has a level of very painterly unfinished to it.
Right.
And I loved the underpainting very much, and of course I wanted it to show through, and of course it's very, very obvious here. And it's certainly something that I've been afraid to show many years ago, So I think that it really, it shows my true evolution as an artist. And of course you can see the little hits of very bright color in the water and the movement that I enjoy doing. Even as loose as this is, you can still have that sense of movement in the water.
Well, we're looking right now at number 21. I love the title for this one. Yeah, I love the title. I love that you titled Parliament. I think that's so cute.
Yeah.
It's 4 inches by 4 inches. And again, all in canvas.
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about when I usually will have 1 or 2 pieces that are very unusual and different and not a landscape.
Yeah,
and,
a little quirky like the breeze wall. Yeah.
I certainly did take a break from probably one of my larger pieces to sit down and paint this one, and I thought it was so cute. And there's something about the line work, the little orange line work above.
Yes.
That
almost like a palette cleanser. After you go into the bigger serious pieces, you can have a little fun.
It's true. Yes. Yeah. And the name, it's something that I shared on my social media a few weeks ago, and it's funny how many people commented that it has to be called Parliament. It was just cute. It's meant to be cute, of course.
Yes. No insult to Parliament. They do chatter. Okay, so number 22, is titled Cloud Surfing Home. It's 8 inches by 4 inches. And I love the mood in that.
Yeah. It's, of course, the name says it all, right? I'm cloud surfing and I'm on my way home, and obviously flying, right?
Yeah, it's homeward bound.
Yeah.
It's lovely. All right. And number 23 is another piece with the gold dust. Quite lovely. It's titled Full Moon Rising, oil on canvas with gold dust. Measures 10 by 8.
This one, even though it is, of course, a painting, when I was working on it, it did feel more like a drawing because of the line work.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how you've got the little loose clouds in the sky and then all the little fine lines in the foreground. I like the effect, yes. Yeah. Number 24. It's titled Evening Dip. 18 by 24 inches. And there is also an NFT available of this piece. And if you get the chance to follow the link and view them, I think the emotion that you've put into them it really does look quite lovely.
Yeah, the animation of some of these are actually quite incredible with the water.
And the piece itself, again, you follow that with the little fine striations, and it gives a lot of visual interest and movement to the piece.
Yeah, I've loosened up quite a lot with this collection.
Okay. And number 25, Dusk to Dawn. It's 12 inches by 12 inches. I know you're saying that this one, you had a kind of a goal when you were doing it, for it to have a certain look.
Yeah, I wanted it to look like a flash or like, and I suppose in a way that it is, because it's the moon and the sun. It's almost a play on time.
Yes. It's intriguing.
I think several years ago I had a painting that had different perspectives, and it was a very large painting. And I think I was able to do that quite effectively in this much smaller piece. Yeah.
Right, now the next few pieces, the next two pieces, are kind of on a theme. We've got some space.
I was watching the SpaceX launches over the last year, really.
Yes. So number 26 is Falcon 9 launches Starlink to orbit. It's 12 inches by 4 inches.
So it's the launch of the satellite.
Yes. And the one underneath it, number 27, is Falcon 9 launches Starlink to orbit.
Oh, so Starlink is the satellite, and above it, 26 is Dragon, actually.
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
Dragon SpaceX, yes. Sorry, did I say it wrong? I think I did.
That's okay.
Right, sorry. So 26 is Falcon 9 launches Dragon SpaceX. They're both 12 by 4 inches each.
Yeah. So that's Capsule Dragon going out into space at the launch,
and then is
below it is the satellite going into orbit. So of course you can see the very different trajectory there.
Number 28 is called New World Above. It's 4 inches by 6 inches.
It's another piece from above, the city above, down to the lights with the moon
That looks
as
like,
I'm flying.
Looks like Port of Spain. That's beautiful.
So this is one of my two favorite paintings of the show. The other one being the daytime version. I'm going to pose you in, and the pattern.
Dappled shadows of the
the pattern at the bottom. It creates quite a lot of movement. So it's very different for me, but also it goes along with the patterns that have been coming up in my last few shows, with the more previous, the more recent shows then. I find this show feels a lot more surrealist than my previous shows, and I think that it's because my painting from memory is a memory from much further away, should I say, because I haven't flown since January, and in the last 18 months I only flew for 3 months. So I think that it's actually afforded my work a sense of loose almost. But yes,
more,
I have
more of an impression of like a step back from it.
yeah. It's quite a bit more detached from my actual the job that I had. So
Yes.
yeah. But I do still have reference photos. But again, I mostly paint from memory. Oh, that's so okay. Well, there are a few folks that do collect my work, and there are 2 or 3 of them that have some of my favorite paintings.
Yes.
But where I have one of my pieces is hanging in Mount Sinai in Canada, and it was a piece that was supposed to be in that is hanging in one of the awards, and it's a very special piece sort of for that reason. I have a painting in Italy. I had a solo exhibition in Florence, Italy, and some of my pieces went there.
Number 30 is titled Down the Islands Evenings. It is 6 by 4 inches. And I like the feeling. You've got the little boys in the water, and you kind of feel like I just feel it's a very relaxed feeling, like you've had a day down the islands and the sun's setting on it now.
Yeah, I love the contrast in this work. It's a very small piece, but it's a very high impact with the use of color and light against very light and white against a very dark color.
Yes,
so
it's
quite impactful.
It's very effective.
Yeah.
Even for a small piece, it has a lot of impact, I find that.
Yeah.
So number 31 is Caribbean Blue, 7 inches by 5 inches.
Yeah. This is very reminiscent to some of my work from years in the past, where I was using a lot of this teal, and I do still enjoy working with these colors, but I've definitely gravitated towards a moodier feel to most of my work, as you can probably tell as we round the bend at the end of it, coming to the end of the show.
Number 32, Escape to Tobago. Again, all of the work is oil on canvas, and Escape to Tobago measures 6 inches by 4 inches. And again, some more of the kind of linear work that you've been incorporating into this show quite a bit.
Another idyllic piece, you know. I mean,
yes.
I can't escape that I'm an island girl. So of course I will have the paintings of the ocean and
yes. Well, I think that's something that people love. It's something that people look at and say, okay, this reminds me of a time when. And it's like looking out a window or.
Yeah. I think in this case, working on this show over the last handful of months, it's more of a longing as well.
Mm-hmm. Directly below number 32 is number 33, titled Full Moon, and that measures 7 inches by 5 inches. And it kind of speaks for itself. So I love the dappled moonlight on the water, the ripples. I think that's so pretty. I could sit and watch that all day.
Yeah, I think in the last few years I've really enjoyed doing a lot of nightscapes and playing with the light and dark, because they don't always have to be very, very dark. Yeah.
Okay, so after that is number 34, Reflection. Reflection measures 12 inches by 12 inches. It's very spare but very effective. I find that's again, I don't keep saying that that has a sense of drama to it, but I think that the placement of the color just.
And the color itself, because the orangey yellow is almost the exact opposite of the purple. It's the perfect complementary color. And I didn't mention earlier, but I did study color when I did my fine arts degree. So and it's something that I really enjoyed playing with. So you'll see a lot of subtleties in the colors that I use, and this is kind of why, you know. So I love the warm, they're different grays, but they're purple, and then it's sort of orangey almost, and then it's green into a more muted
There's a subtlety, and then that swoosh of color that gives it a pop.
It's funny, because again, this is a very different piece for me, and I looked at it and I'm like, I wonder if my collectors will will enjoy a piece like this, similar to Dusk Till Dawn, and they were two of the first pieces.
Yeah, that went. Number 35 is Sunrise in Flight. And as you say, flying into the sunrise, yes?
Yeah, another view from above. Very, very dark, but very impactful with the spot of the sun rising.
Now rising, yes. And this piece is 5 inches by 5 inches. Just a little reminder that if you have queries about prices, we have the list posted. If you have any other questions or wish to book a piece, you can just private message, and Joelle will get right back to you. She's manning the keyboards, waiting anxiously. And we have one more question. Yeah, okay.
Shannon, when you started painting the earliest completed piece of this collection, did you already have this theme or direction in mind?
Oh, right.
Oh, sorry. Yes. For the speakers, let me repeat the question. Someone would like to know that when you started to do the first piece, the earliest completed piece of the show, did you already have the theme for the show, this idea of how the finished body of work in mind?
No, I never do. I do have artist friends that plan their shows down to where everything goes. I'm the absolute opposite of that. I may be a pilot, but I am the artist in me is a true artist, and I paint what I feel. I generally tend to work on 20 to 30 pieces at a time, and so it's funny, I had to think a bit when you asked the question, because I couldn't really tell you which was the first painting I started for this exhibition.
The theme kind of comes together more organically for you.
Well, the theme does come together more organically because I do tend to use the same palette, right? So when I'm working on 20 to 30 pieces at the same time, even if they're entirely different things, I am still using the same palette, the same sort of colors that I use. So even when I might be doing a sunrise, and then I'm doing, a seascape and fireworks, so they can still feel like they're part of the same collection.
There's a cohesiveness about the whole body of work.
Yeah.
And it's visible when you look at it. Each piece stands on its own, but you can feel that it's all one group.
You know, one artist did this collection for sure.
That's it. Yeah, definitely. Number 36, Event Horizon 2. It measures 6 inches by 6 inches. And
another sunrise painting from above, and some days they're more subtle, like in 35, and then other days they're more spectacular and sort of hit you right in your face as you're flying toward, again chasing the horizon, flying towards the sun.
It's almost a little more severe, but I like the it's a different mood. It's still exciting. It has an exciting feel to it.
There's a lot more movement in this piece, and quite a lot of stillness in the other one, actually.
After this is number 37, the Golden Hour. Sorry, it measures 10 by 20 inches. Now this is kind of a very different, slightly different color tones than many of the pieces in this show.
Yeah. So with this painting and in the one after it, I actually started with a fluorescent underpainting, and it is very unusual for me, but I do enjoy giving myself a bit of a challenge and playing and having fun when I'm painting, even though sometimes I might paint myself into a corner that's not so much fun anymore. But needless to say, I did have a lot of fun with this because I enjoy working with color, and the orange underpainting changed the way the colors looked when I applied them, because blue is going to look very different when it's next to orange versus when it's on a white canvas.
Definitely.
I like the looseness of this painting, and I love the subtle greens, and that they don't look so subtle because they're next to a fluorescent orange color.
Yeah. It gives a whole vibrancy to the piece that are very reminiscent of the warmth of the sun.
Yeah.
Yes. And well, as you mentioned, the similarity, well, the similarity with the use of the fluorescent pink as an underpainting in both pieces. We move on now to number 38. Number 38 is titled Moon River. It's 24 by 18 inches. And you were saying also that this one, it put you in mind of the song Moon River.
Yeah, because it's actually not a river. It's somewhere in Tobago, a little secret beach in Tobago. But the song, I listen to music when I paint, and I do love the song Moon River. And something about this painting reminded me of the song. It's cool, it's calming.
Yeah, very dreamy quality, that kind of,
dreamy,
yes.
Yeah. And this painting, like the last one, which has an entirely different feel because it's so cool and calming, is painted on a very, very hot fluorescent pink background, which you can only see tiny hints of it, more so in the bottom than anywhere else. Anywhere else that you might know that it's fluorescent pink on the bottom is only to warm up some of the purples in the painting.
Yeah,
so you kind of wouldn't even know, like in hair, for example.
Yeah.
But you'll see the little hot pink spots a lot in the painting. So of course I've covered up most of the background color hair versus in the previous work.
And I like also the fact that you've got it. I like the little soft silhouettes of the trees above, that you're gonna feel like you're sitting
on the beach.
Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
After a day lolling on the sand, that's nice.
Yeah.
The next painting is number 39, Impression Dusk. It measures 12 by 4 inches. And this is one of the pieces you're saying that you're just kind of doing a quick impression.
Yeah.
Very impressionistic look.
Yeah, this is a very painterly piece, and it's certainly not as tight as a lot of my other paintings. And because of that, color is very, very important. Even though it looks like it's one or two colors, it's actually very many variations of purple, green, warm and cool grays with the orange and the very light yellow to create that. Certainly just an impression of two or three brush strokes, but also of sunset.
Yeah, the use of the orange and the blues is just, it's lovely, because with the soothing, softer parts, you got that for a little stronger contrast.
Yeah, and the colors in this one are very similar to one of the previous paintings, Reflection, with the purples and the greens.
Yes, it's a slightly different treatment, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the following piece, number 40, is Dusk, and it measures 12 by 6 inches, again oil on canvas.
And you can see the tightness here in this painting in comparison to the one that we just discussed, which is much looser. And again there I'm using a lot of the lines, very linear. Work that I've been drawn to in this show and my last one as well.
And it interests me that although you have used, as you say, it's a tighter piece, more linear, more focused, and it still has a sense of softness and so on, I guess because the color use largely, but it has a very soothing feel to it, despite it being more structured.
Well, I think with this, the closer you get to the edges, the looser I got with the paint. So the more zoomed in you get to the horizon, the tighter the line.
That's probably why it tends to pull your eye right into the center of the piece, which is what you want.
Yeah,
you're drawn into it.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think that my artwork, this collection and previous collections, is actually a great reflection of both the pilot and the artist in me, because in all of my work you can see the very controlled, very tight lines, or rather in most of my work you can see the very controlled, tight lines and the linear brush strokes that I use, while also observing the very painterly, free, relaxed brushwork that I also use. And in most of my work you see both of those. So I think that my collection is a great marriage of, I don't want to say both of my personalities, but certainly the duality, like the two very different parts of my life, should I say.
Two of your main passions really meld together into that. And we're going to view our final piece of the evening, which is Number 41, Dark Water Secret Swim. It measures 20 by 10 inches. And I like how unusual this is because it just swirls around and...
I love painting weather. I think that in the last handful of shows that I've had here, I've always had a piece that was of a powerful storm.
Yes.
At least, well, certainly more than one, because there are a few in this exhibition as well. But there's always one standout piece that is of a really powerful storm, and this is that piece in this exhibition. And unfortunately, it's already sold. So for those of you that are considering considering any of the work in the show, don't hesitate to message or get in touch with the gallery.
Although you can't buy this particular piece, there's an NFT available of it.
There is an NFT available of this painting. And with a lot of movement, of course. As I said, all of the NFTs are animated. And this one is Dark Water. It's Secret Swim Dark Water, I believe. And it's, of course, you can't see who's swimming in the ocean or if anybody's swimming in the ocean. And it's a bit of a play on what we've been experiencing here, because we're not allowed in the ocean.
Yeah, so it'd have to be a very secret swim indeed.
So there are a few secret swims in the exhibition, and of course this being the last of them. I just want to thank you guys so very much for joining us, and for tuning in, and for your support and your messages and your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them, because I'm always online answering.
Yeah.
Answering all of your questions, for those of you that follow me, so I appreciate it.
And don't forget that the show will be available for viewing here at the gallery if you have the opportunity to come in until the 28th of this month. And we will also have this video posted so you can watch it again if you missed anything or if you came in late. And the work will be posted on the website horizonsaggallery.com, so you can go and see the stills if you want to just look through and see all of the details with the sizes and media and so on listed for you. So,
thank you again, and have a great evening.
Okay, bye everybody, thank you.